Most people think tiredness comes from lack of sleep or working too hard, but sometimes your body is not the real problem. Your mind can quietly drain your energy every single day. And the scary part is that many people never notice it happening. You wake up after a full night of sleep, but still feel exhausted. Simple tasks feel heavier than they should. Even resting does not fully recharge you anymore. That kind of tiredness often begins in the mind before it reaches the body. Your brain is always working in the background. It processes emotions, worries, decisions, conversations, and memories nonstop. When mental pressure builds for too long, your nervous system stays overloaded. Eventually, your mind starts running low on energy, just like a phone battery. One of the biggest reasons for mental exhaustion is constant overthinking. Your brain keeps replaying conversations and imagining future problems. It tries to prepare for every possible outcome all the time. That endless mental activity slowly steals your focus and emotional strength. Overthinking often looks harmless from the outside. You may seem calm while your thoughts are racing internally. Your body stays alert even when there is no real danger around you. That hidden tension keeps your system from ever fully relaxing. Another major cause of mental fatigue is emotional suppression. Many people spend years hiding sadness, anger, disappointment, or fear. They force themselves to appear fine because life keeps moving forward. But ignored emotions do not disappear just because you stay silent. Your brain uses energy to hold those emotions down every day. It becomes similar to carrying a heavy backpack everywhere you go. At first, you manage it without noticing much difference. Then, one day, even small tasks begin to feel mentally exhausting. People who constantly please others also experience deep mental tiredness. They monitor everyone's feelings while ignoring their own emotional needs. They become hyper-aware of tone, reactions, and expectations around them. That constant emotional monitoring quietly burns through mental energy. The mind also becomes exhausted from too many decisions. Modern life forces people to think about hundreds of small choices daily. What to wear, what to eat, what to reply, what to fix next. Your brain gets overloaded long before the day actually ends. Social media adds another layer of mental exhaustion to modern life. Your brain constantly compares your life with carefully edited moments online. You absorb endless information without giving your mind time to process it. Even scrolling casually can leave you emotionally and mentally drained afterward. Many people also feel tired because their minds never feel safe. Past experiences may have trained their brains to expect stress constantly. Even peaceful moments can feel uncomfortable to someone used to chaos. The nervous system stays alert because it learns survival instead of rest. This is common in people who experienced emotional neglect or unstable environments. Their brains adapted by becoming highly aware of possible problems around them. They scan situations carefully and prepare for disappointment automatically. That survival mode consumes enormous amounts of mental energy every single day. Perfectionism is another hidden source of constant exhaustion. Perfectionists rarely allow themselves to feel satisfied with anything they do. Their inner voice keeps pushing them to do more and be better. Even achievements feel incomplete because their standards keep moving higher. That pressure creates a mind that never truly rests. Every mistake feels larger than it actually is. Every delay feels like personal failure instead of normal human experience. Living under that mental pressure eventually drains emotional resilience completely. Another overlooked reason for mental fatigue is unresolved stress. Sometimes, stress does not come from one major event. It builds slowly through repeated disappointments, financial pressure, loneliness, or uncertainty. Your brain carries all of it quietly while still trying to function normally. The problem is that humans are not designed for non-stop mental stimulation. Your brain needs pauses, silence, and emotional recovery to stay healthy. But modern routines rarely allow genuine mental rest anymore. People are physically still while mentally running all day long. Even guilt can make a person feel permanently tired. Some people carry guilt about past choices or unfinished responsibilities for years. Their minds replay old situations repeatedly without finding closure or peace. That emotional weight slowly turns into chronic mental exhaustion over time. Anxiety also plays a powerful role in constant tiredness. An anxious brain never fully powers down because it always anticipates danger. Even when nothing bad is happening, the body remains mentally prepared for stress. That continuous alertness eventually leaves a person emotionally depleted. Depression can create a different kind of exhaustion altogether. It is not simply sadness like many people assume. Depression often removes motivation, emotional excitement, and mental clarity at once. Even basic activities can feel unbelievably difficult during those periods. A mentally exhausted person may start disconnecting from life slowly. They stop enjoying hobbies they once loved deeply. Conversations begin to feel draining instead of comforting or energizing. They may isolate themselves without fully understanding why they changed. Sometimes people blame themselves for being lazy when they are actually overwhelmed. They force themselves harder instead of understanding what their minds need. That creates more stress and even deeper emotional fatigue over time. The cycle continues until burnout eventually becomes impossible to ignore. Burnout is not just about working too much physically. It often comes from emotional overload and prolonged mental pressure. You give energy constantly without giving your mind proper recovery afterward. Eventually, your brain struggles to maintain normal emotional balance anymore. One sign of mental exhaustion is feeling tired even after resting. You sleep longer, but wake up feeling emotionally heavy. Your body may recover while your mind remains completely overloaded. That is why physical rest alone does not always solve the problem. Another sign is struggling to concentrate on simple things. Your thoughts feel scattered and harder to organize clearly. You forget details more often and lose motivation quickly. Mental exhaustion directly affects memory, focus, and emotional patience. Some people become emotionally numb when mentally drained for too long. They stop reacting strongly to good or bad experiences. Life begins to feel flat instead of meaningful or emotionally alive. That numbness is often the mind protecting itself from further overload. Healing mental exhaustion usually begins with honesty. You have to admit that your mind is carrying more than it can handle. Ignoring the problem only teaches your brain to stay in survival mode longer. Awareness becomes the first real step toward emotional recovery. Setting boundaries is also extremely important for mental health. You cannot constantly absorb everyone else's emotions and expectations. Protecting your mental energy is not selfish or cold-hearted. It is necessary if you want to function in a healthy way. Your brain also needs quiet moments without stimulation. Not every second must be filled with content, noise, or distraction. Silence gives the nervous system a chance to settle and recover naturally. That mental space helps your thoughts slow down and organize themselves better. Talking honestly about emotions can reduce mental pressure significantly. Keeping everything inside forces your brain to carry emotional weight alone. Sometimes, being understood by another person creates genuine psychological relief. Human connection can calm the nervous system more than people realize. You also need to stop treating rest as something you must earn. Many people feel guilty whenever they slow down or take breaks, but recovery is part of being productive and emotionally stable. A mind without recovery eventually loses its ability to function properly. It is important to understand that mental exhaustion is real exhaustion. Just because people cannot physically see it does not make it imaginary. The brain affects every part of how you feel and function daily. When your mind struggles, your whole body eventually feels the impact too. You are not weak for feeling mentally tired all the time. Your mind may simply be carrying more pressure than anyone realizes. Sometimes exhaustion is not a sign that you are failing at life. It may actually be a sign that your mind has been surviving for too long.